The Powers Project.
Jay and Amber, it's great to have you here on the Powers Project podcast this evening. Thank you for joining me. I know you guys are busy as all get out. And so I know just a little bit about your personal lives, as far as your scheduling goes with having kids and everything, how that can keep you busy. But I understand that you guys try to put out 3 videos a day. How?
I'll say our goal is 3 videos a day, and we're super happy to be here. But we were putting out one, and Amber had the great idea. Amber was like, "Let's put out 3 videos a day,"
and he was like,
I was like, "Oh man,"
because he does more of the work on the back end as far as putting in end screens and getting stuff uploaded, and more of the work inside of YouTube. So he's like 3, and I'm like, yeah.
So I need to let all my listeners know that you guys have a channel, and it's called the Rob Squad Reactions, which is basically you guys, you react to music that you've never heard before. And so I came across your channel strictly by accident because I'm a big Eagles fan, and you apparently listen to Hotel California. So of course I had to go, let me see what they got to say about Hotel California. So and so I was so pleased.
That's a good one to start with this.
I love that, I could go on and on about why that is my favorite song of all time, but it was so cool to see you guys appreciate it for what it is, to see a younger generation to appreciate the older music that's out there and be open to it, because so many people are so closed-minded that they like one thing and one thing only. And
that was me. That was me.
I used to listen to I listen to softer music, more mellow, just easy listening. And in the past, Jordan's like, you're gonna put me to sleep. But now through the channel, he's really open to listening to a lot more of what I like too.
And even the stuff that we've come across, it kind of makes me have a distaste to what music is today.
We've talked about that a lot.
We've talked about that a lot on our channel. It's like so much talent then as compared to now. It seems like it's more of a business and less than a talent.
Yeah, you hit on it, because it became very cookie cutter. Like there was this formula, and they go, this is the formula that we use to make one successful band after another after another. Back in the 70s, every band had its own sound. Like when you listen to Aerosmith, you're not going to mistake Aerosmith for the Eagles. You're not going to mistake the Eagles for Boston. No, I mean, these bands all had their own original sounds, and they were amazing. Just amazing music was put out then. But I will say that nowadays, while it may seem more rare, you do have a lot of talent out there. When you have someone like Adele, for instance, who has amazing.
You touched on his favorite artist.
That's my girl. I'll say, before I even started the channel, there was one artist that I would listen to outside of rap, and that
was in the shower.
And that was Adele. That is my girl. Shout out to you, Adele. Even though I've heard every Adele song, but we're about to get her on the channel just to expose. I'm sure everyone knows about her. But just in case they don't, we're about to put
kind of show what one of your favorite artists would be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what that's the hardest thing, is like when I listen to these songs and I go, how does Jay not know about Hotel California? Like, you really must have lived in a setting where rap was it, because there's so there, and I go, how has he never heard of these?
In my household, like I told you before, it'd be heavy rap, but every now and then on Saturday morning when Mom was cleaning or something, we'd get a little bit of some Aretha Franklin or something. But I mean, outside of that, it was rap. So and we have people in the comments like, "How have you never heard of this?"
Get that a lot.
Get that so much. I'm like, guys, first of all, most of these songs came a long time before I was even born, and then growing up, I was just never exposed to it. So we've had people say, "Oh, you've heard this," I really haven't. I know, and the deal is I wish I'd heard it, because now, you can ask Amber, I hardly listen to rap anymore. It's completely changed my mind on music, and it's very refreshing.
Yeah.
See, when you listen to rap, even I don't know about you, but the rap I like is old school rap. I like things like Kool Moe Dee, for instance. And I know I wish there were people my age who never listen to rap. I wish they would do what you do and listen to to different types of music and react to it, because I think they would be surprised at how good this music is. Like right now, my favorite artist that's out right now is Olivia Rodrigo. She has that. She has a song called Traitor. Makes me cry. I go, that woman touched my heart, and she's only 17. I was like, how did she know this?
Crazy.
Yeah.
But there's that kind
Yeah,
of
for sure.
there, and if we just open ourselves up to it, it's we have the experience that you have and I have by listening to different things and going, wow, there's a lot of great music out there.
See, there's no doubt about it. Because like before I saw the channel, my opinion was rock is all headbanging, screaming.
I'm the same way. I'm still trying to open myself up to rock a little bit more because like I said, I'm like easy listening, so that's something that I'm trying to get a little more into.
But that's the same aspect some people have on rap. They're like, oh, it's all about violence and guns. But like I listen to people like Nipsey Hussle and J. Cole, or probably some of my two all-time favorites, guys that talk about true stories, and guys that are out in their communities. So that's I try to listen to positive rap, if anything.
Right. Well, it seems like it, because I was going to say you both seem like very positive people, and that was the other thing that I got from your channel, is that I love positive people who look at the positive side of things rather than the negative side of things. And you guys exude so much positivity on your channel that I truly believe. And Jay, not that you didn't do a good job by yourself, but when she's there's a dynamic that
she made it better. No hard feelings. She made it better. Honestly, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Thank you.
You definitely.
Well, I don't know. We just we like to bring positivity. I mean, this world, and especially media, and you get on the internet and you see so much negative things, and to me, like, that's something that I just like take on, and it's too heavy sometimes. And so I like to spread positivity. I mean, especially working in education, that's something that you want to spread to the youth. So it's just something that's like a daily thing for us. It's just, try to be positive, try to see the good in things. And like we always say, just try to make somebody smile, because you don't never know how much just making somebody smile just one time a day. Like, you never know what that could possibly do for them.
And, to me, it's crazy that, music has brought all these people to our channel, because we have another channel. It's actually our family channel. We do all kinds of like daily vlogs and challenges, and I would say pranks, but they prank me most of the time. And, it's like we have, I think, 2,000 subscribers on there. When we started doing the music reactions, it just brought, a lot of people really, really fast. And, we still can't believe, what the turnout has been on our channel. And, I've had friends watch that channel, and they're like, it's crazy. How do you guys do it? What do y'all do? We just be ourselves and react to music we've never heard. So, and
then it's just, to me, music is something that everybody can relate to, from all generations, all across the world. And that's what's the coolest part to me about the channel, is realizing like how undivided we really are, like seeing like somebody from a different era or a different ethnicity, and it's just like you can just connect with them so well and so easily. And it's just like music is something that I feel like can really bring a lot of people together.
Oh yeah, honestly, I was talking to him, and we've connected and talked to people from Norway, people from Australia, Costa Rica, from Iceland, and it's like literally all because of music. So it's so cool.
It's fun.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that you bring that too. You what you're doing is when I watch you guys again, I see you listening to music I grew up with, and I see like this look on your face, like you're like, wow, that is like you're amazed, like you've heard it for the first time. I get so much joy out of watching you react to it, because when something's good, you want other people to hear or see it or do, like. One of the things I talk about is like, I've never traveled alone. I have, but I don't enjoy it, because I can go to the Swiss Alps and I can see it, and it is the most beautiful place on earth. But if I don't have someone to share it with, so I can say, look at this, and where I can see the joy on their face, it doesn't have the same meaning. So I can know about this music, but if no one's willing to listen to it, like younger kids aren't willing to listen to it, they'll never know what they're missing. And so when I see people like you who are open-minded and willing to listen to it, and then you go, wow, that was amazing, I get so much joy as if it was my song. It's not, but that's how I feel about it. So I love watching you guys do that.
I'll say, and we love it too. And we love, we're getting to introduce our kids to this music, sometimes if you look really hard in our videos, like we're peeking to the side, we'll be here recording, and our girls will be over here dancing to the music. They can hear it through our headphones. They'll be over here dancing to the music as we're sitting here doing our reaction. So honestly, it's a blast. It was something that we got started, and we were like, we don't know if anybody's gonna watch it, and then it kind of just took off. And the best part about it, we've talked about it so much, is that we don't do any of our research before on these artists. We just pick them straight out of the comments. And then once we post the video from all these people around the world on not only the band, but the individual artists, the individual band members.
This band story,
yes.
like the life, everything like that.
So not only are we hearing the band for the first time, we're literally getting a history lesson about different aspects and members of the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I know you don't know anything about him, because you made a comment about Freddie Mercury and Queen and saying he's the kind of guy that could go to the bar and take your girl. And I was like, yeah, but he wouldn't want to, because you didn't.
There was a lot of those comments. There was a lot of those. And then I started seeing them. I said, Amber, are they saying what I think they're saying?
Because we really we love to like read the comments. I think that's something that's also kind of special, is that we like to hear their feedback, and then like we kind of like put that into the channel, like what people like to listen to or requests that they want us to react to, and then just seeing like things that we didn't know about the song that we would be saying to something completely wrong in the video, and they were like, actually,
Right.
So it's that part's been really cool too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that fun because I watched you both, and I can't remember what song it was right off the bat, but you were both saying, oh, I think it means this, and you were, oh, it's Vincent by Don McLean.
And it was actually about Vincent Van Gogh.
Right, exactly. You were so close on, like you understood what he was singing about, but you just didn't know who he was singing about.
Exactly. That was a fun find too. It's just kind of like afterwards when we read the comments, you're like, oh, like it clicks, it makes sense, and then we want to go listen to it again now that we have a deeper understanding, and then it just makes the song even better when you understand truly what it's about.
Exactly. Well, I know that all right, so Jay, I know that you're all about the piano, and Amber,
I love piano.
I know you're all about the horns. So
yes,
I because of that, I've got a couple of suggestions. I also know you're both all about Barry Gibb. So
hey, that's my dude.
I think he's more obsessed than I am.
If I could have been one cat back in the 70s, it would have been Barry Gibb. That is the slickest dude I've ever seen.
Well, the first time he listened to him, this was before I came on the channel, he came out of the room, he's like, babe, you got to see this dude Barry. Like, you got to hear Barry. And I was like, who's Barry?
It was like one of the very first videos on the channel.
Yeah, I was.
And it's funny you say that, because I was actually sitting in the tag office the other day, and Too Much Heaven came on, and I was just sitting there jamming out to it.
But see, that was the thing, that genuine reaction from you to you appreciated him that much, because I do too, because he had an amazing voice. And I have to tell you, back in the 70s, you didn't have a lot of white groups who sang falsetto. It was always black. So I'm a kid, I'm listening to the Bee Gees. I think they're a black group. For a long time, I didn't even know they were white until one day I saw an album cover and I was like, oh, Bee Gees. And I looked, white guys, what? Because sing falsetto, they just didn't. And so
their falsetto is crazy.
Yeah, they were
probably the most amazing falsetto I've heard.
Yeah, honestly, it's ridiculous.
All three of them are in harmony singing falsetto. That's the key to it. So, but because you like Barry, I have two more Barrys that I want you to listen to.
All right, let me get my board so I can write these down.
So Jay, for you, I want you to listen to Barry Manilow. Now, Barry, I want you to listen.
That name sounds familiar. It sounds familiar.
Okay. In the 70s, there was nobody who was known for love songs probably more than Barry Manilow. But Barry Manilow wrote a song, Could It Be Magic? The reason I want you to listen to that song is because that song is taken from Chopin's Prelude in C minor, I think it is. And so it's a classical piece that he wrote a song to, and it's a beautiful song. And so I thought, if you like piano especially if you like classical piano, you're going to love this song. And when you get in there, you're going to hear songs like Mandy. They're all love songs. The only one that wasn't a love song was Copacabana. And so, and other than that, almost every one of his songs are love songs, but you'll love the piano because he's all about the piano. So
I'll definitely check that one out.
And Amber, for you, I picked out Barry White.
Barry White.
If you've never heard Barry White, I'm just going to tell you, be seated when you listen to him. And listen to a song called Secret Garden. Okay, now Barry White, yeah, I don't think it's classified as his song, but you'll know his voice as soon the man can just talk to you and you'll just get shivers. I'm telling you, when you hear his voice.
That voice is that ridiculous.
I'm ready for it.
So
I'll definitely be ready for that.
So I figured, that'll cover the berries. One of the things that we had in the 70s, again, like with Could It Be Magic by Barry Manilow, we had Eric Carmen, the song All by Myself. I think Celine Dion went and did a take of it. But he plays Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2. That's taken from that classical piece, which is another beautiful piano piece. In fact, it's a very difficult piano piece to play. And but it's just a beautiful song. And when Celine Dion did it, she didn't do that piano piece. That song's like over 7 minutes. And back in the day, in the 70s, you could have songs that played 6 and 7 minutes, even longer. If you listen to some of the more of the Pink Floyd,
we've noticed that.
Yeah.
People would listen to music that long. Nowadays, it's like 2 to 3 minutes, and then that's done. And so you don't have that creativity like you did back in the day, where Pink Floyd has songs that went 10, 12 minutes, that you could listen to. So
I love Pink Floyd. I'm glad you said that name. I've absolutely fell in love with Pink Floyd.
I did too, and I don't even do drugs. And I guess my understanding is if you do remorse, they wrote one of the best lyrics in music, which is and the Wish You Were Here album, and it's the Wish You Were Here song. And it says, we're just two lost souls swimming in a fish bowl year after year. Wish you were here.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Well, see, we listened to a Pink Floyd song, and
it's Comfortably Numb.
And I loved it. I was like, it kind of gives you the feeling of like floating, and like they're like, yeah, that's what Pink Floyd does. And then everybody's in the comments saying Amber's a Floydian, and I was like, I literally went and searched it on Google to see what they're calling me. I was like, what is that? But I guess it's just a Pink Floyd fan.
Floyd lover.
Well, they're easy. They're a great band. They really are, and they put out some amazing music. That's the things, like when you go back, especially in the 70s, there were so many great bands that you can say, oh, well, the greatest band. There's no way to say one band is better than the other unless you just went by sales or something like that. I know, Jay, I talked to you about the Eagles and how popular they were. They have the number one selling album in the whole world. Well, them and Michael Jackson keep going. His album Thriller and their album The Greatest Hits keep going back and forth as which ones has sold more than the other. But that's how popular they were. And they were so popular that you get these people so I hate them because they're popular and they don't want to like anything that's popular, that type of thing. So, but there just really was such a diverse type of music back there that you could listen to everything and just, and fall in love with all this different type of music, which I don't see today.
Yeah, it seems like everybody had their unique sound. One of the bands that I was super impressed with, and it was probably because was the horns. I love the horn section, was Chicago. Oh. I was just blown away because it's just like, now I feel like when you listen to music, it's more so things that are mastered on the computer. And when you go back and you listen to the music from the era before, it's like it's instruments and it's raw talent. And when I listened to Chicago, I was probably one of the most blown away moments I've had. It was 24 to
6 to 5.
Yeah, the title was very different.
Yeah.
Yes.
But also remember, Casey and the Sunshine Band had a good. Also, we posted one today. Casey and the Sunshine Band.
I saw that.
I loved that.
I'm your boogeyman, and that was amazing.
That made you want to dance, for sure.
Well, I had Barry Manilow for you for the piano, and for you for the horns. not only did I see Chicago in concert, I saw Chicago in concert with this band, Earth, Wind, and Fire. You want to horns?
See, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's been suggested a couple times.
All right, so I'm going to suggest 2 songs or 3 songs, excuse me, from Earth, Wind, and Fire. One is called Fantasy. The other one is called Serpentine Fire. And the third one is called September. And let me know what you think of those. But Earth, Wind, and Fire, and it has Philip Bailey. Philip Bailey sang a duo with Phil Collins back in the 80s. Philip Bailey's voice is so amazing that when he sings in concert, I'm getting goosebumps right now listening to him hit these high notes. He has such an amazing voice, and they were just a great group. I mean, just a great group, and they put out music just like Chicago. I don't want to say it sounded the same, but they just put out great music. You know,
like a unique sound.
Right, Earth, Wind, and Fire had more funk to them by far.
Oh, so we'll definitely check them out.
Yeah.
Then. I'll say we like some funk.
Well, if you like funk, you got to try out Prince and Musicology. You got to listen to
Musicology.
Yes.
See, we dove into a couple of Prince songs. My mom really loved Prince, and so we kind of just listened to him because I was like, I want to see why my mom loved him so much. And I was just kind of just blown away seeing him perform. You know, I had heard a little bit of like a little bit of the songs, like Little Red Corvette, just like, you know, just a tidbit of it. But seeing him perform it, I was just like, this man is.
It was, I mean,
I was screaming and Jordan was like, stop.
Heels, all kinds of stuff.
So,
but Prince he just owned the stage. It was incredible.
And again, this word gets thrown around way too much, but he really was a musical genius. That guy was unbelievable, just unbelievable. And you just can't give him enough credit for how talented he truly was. Now, Jay, you and I talked about you guys doing 2 songs. If I don't know if you were able to get that or not. If not, that's okay. But for the show, we were going to do one with Prince in it. It wasn't a Prince song. It was as my while my guitar weeps with Prince and who else was in it? Jeff Lynne and Tom Petty. And I was going to see if you were going to be able to do a reaction to that.
That sounds interesting. Yeah, I'm excited just hearing that. I really
want to. Now, can you pull it up on your end, or you can just pull it up on our end?
I would say because I'm technically like challenged to pull it up on your end because I wouldn't even know how to do that. So
I'll say that's kind of what I'll say. You guys might be able to hear it, but you probably won't be able to see the video.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't have to see, but because I could do it to where you could hear it, but I want you to see the video because we were talking about Prince and having swag. You've got to watch this very end, and you will see just kind of what kind of swag Prince truly had.
All right. And what was the song called?
While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and it has Tom Petty,
While My
Jeff Lynne,
Guitar Gently.
Yes.
All right. It is getting crazy outside here. Is the weather there nice today?
It's hot. It's always hot.
Oh, My Guitar Gently Weeps. It says Prince right there.
Prince.
Jeff Lynne from ELO and Tom Petty.
Prince, Tom Petty. All right. All right. You ready for this?
I'm excited.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's check it out. This is one we've never heard before, obviously.
It's so cool to see them all up on the stage together.
Who is that piano?
Okay, we're not able to hear the music on this end.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear that, Kurt?
No.
You cannot hear it?
No, I can hear you. I can't hear the music though. Is there a way to do that or not?
I'm not 100% sure.
I can pull it up from here, from my phone if you want me to. I don't know if the computer's gonna let you.
Yeah, we can try that. That actually may work better.
We'll have to do another show sometime, and we'll have to figure out how to do this because
definitely
I want people to see your reactions when you listen to this music for the first time, so they can enjoy it as much as I do. All
right, pull it up. You can set it right here. All right, see See if you can hear that on the computer. Can you hear that? You good? Who is that guy?
Oh, I like his voice.
That just sounds familiar. That's crazy.
It's easy listening.
Yeah.
I like it.
See, I'm gonna pause it real quick. See, now I don't know who the guy singing is right now with the glasses and the long gray hair. Is that let me guess, is that Tom Petty?
Yes, that's Tom Petty.
That is Tom Petty?
And George Harrison, who was the original Beatle, that's his son up there playing. And that's where you've heard While My Guitar Gently Weeps. It's originally a Beatles song. And I think you might have done that.
Okay.
Have we reacted to that?
I've heard that, but I haven't heard these guys. Like, we've seen them all on stage at the same time. And this is just a different voice.
Have we reacted to While My Guitar Gently Weeps?
Right. I think we did.
Yeah, we had. I said, yeah.
Well, not with them, not with all these guys on stage.
No, but his voice complements the song.
Yeah.
That's like so pretty.
The swag that he's got, I like that bucket hat.
Oh, that note.
I like the riff to it. The riff to me is what kind of makes this song. I may like his voice better than when the Beatles sang it.
Oh, a solo.
I'm pausing with it. Hey, one thing that we've noticed about songs that are that are earlier songs, and the one thing that we love is that they take their time. Like, the solos in it are absolutely ridiculous.
And you kind of get it highlights everybody.
Definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, how can you not rock to this? Like, how can you not bob your head to something like this? So who is this one?
I'm not sure.
His voice just literally fits the song.
I know. That's Prince.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Prince.
I forgot Prince was even in this. He hasn't showed up, so I forgot he was in it.
He's here now.
You'll know now.
Master of swag. The master.
Listen to that.
Golly. That is ridiculous.
What?
He's pulling out some Stevie Ray Vaughan tricks right now. That is stupid ridiculous. He's got a man holding him up playing. Kurt, what did you put us on? Okay, Prince.
Oh, how could you not love him?
That literally gives you chills. That's ridiculous. And that red and black. Come on now. He's just showing off now.
He said, I didn't even notice him. Well, we made sure you noticed him now.
Jeez. That is a bad man. Wow. He ain't about.
He threw the guitar in the crowd. Imagine catching that
That's
guitar.
$1 million guitar. That's $1 million guitar that person's walking out with.
Wow. Okay, so I have a lot of respect for the Beatles. I really do. But when you put men like that, when you put like just a group of people on stage that have that much talent, like just right there, it's just like, how could you get better? How could you get any better than that?
Well, like it was amazing the whole time, but to have Prince to just top it off right there at the end to kind of send you out, you're just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good. I can go home now.
See, the great thing.
Wow, I appreciate that, Kurt. That was
top notch.
Yes.
One of the things that I find amazing is that you have to understand that Tom Petty and Jeff Lynne's probably the most underrated singer in rock, and he's from the Electric Light Orchestra, and he's got an amazing voice. Tom Petty has an amazing voice. But these guys, as great as they are, they didn't have any problem letting Prince shine. Like Prince just took the command of that stage. Like that's because he's Prince. They understand how great Prince is themselves. And so I have no ego there. Like these guys are all great in their own respects, and yet they respect one another. And they're like, let Prince do Prince, And so I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Let him do him.
Now you said that the man from Electric Lights Orchestra, like that was another group that I was super, super impressed with. What did you say his name was?
Jeff Lynne. I've seen them in concert as well.
Jeff.
That band has so many hits, but do you know they never had a number one hit? Never. And they should have had many.
But I'm shocked by that.
Tightrope was amazing.
Yeah, Electric Lights Orchestra songs that you would recommend, because that was a group that, like I said, I was just blown away by all the talent and just the different trips that kind of took you on in the song.
And the song actually, the songs that they have will do that. Like Mr. Blue Sky is one of my favorite. Evil Woman was probably their number one, their biggest hit, I should say. But they have a ton of hits out there, and that they've had, and they were just a great band. And Jeff Lynne's voice is a big part of that, because he's just got an amazing voice and just great songwriter. So
you would think that the song we just listened to was his, though, like not his, but each individual singer, Tom Petty and him himself, like their voices fit the song so perfectly well that you would assume that was their song, but they just did it complete justice.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now,
no doubt about it.
I was going to have you listen to the Eagles, my second favorite Eagles song, which is "Take It to the Limit," which I would like for you to do, but I've got another song that might just blow you away. Have you ever heard Disturbed, the band?
I think that I've reacted to one. I think maybe one song on which I can't remember what song it was.
Was it?
But
I wasn't in that with
she
you.
she wasn't on it yet.
Okay, I would love for you to listen to Disturbed sing "The Sound of Silence." Now, "The Sound of Silence" is by Simon and Garfunkel from the '60s, which, of course, is a great song, all in its own respect. I have I'm really picky about people who do other people's songs. Like, if you're going to do it, you better do it right. This guy
Right.
did it so right that everybody's, including Simon and Garfunkel, are like, "Holy shit, that's how it should sound." It's like it was, it was so great. And so I would love to see what your reaction would be to listening to Disturbed sing "The Sound of Silence."
Silent.
On the silence.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do that one real quick?
Okay, so you're gonna laugh at me, but we have daughters, and so we watch Trolls, and I think Sound of Silence was in Trolls, but not by them. It was obviously by like Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick. But so I'm excited to hear what Sound of Silence really sounds like.
Oh, okay.
What were you saying?
Oh, nothing. I have to remember you have kids, and sometimes I'm sure kids listen to your channel. They're not going to be listening to mine. They better not be. So I curse once in a while, so I'll keep that at bay. I apologize for that. So
Oh, you're fine.
This might not be the same Sound of Silence that I was thinking of, though.
Disturbed.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
With the guy that's got the same haircut as me.
All right, I'm right there. All right.
All right. It's not a commercial.
Of course.
Nourishes hair from root to tip. For ready-to-wear hair, that's all you.
But yeah, I think I'm done with one reaction to Disturbed. I just can't remember what song it was.
Okay.
But I guess we're about to do another one, so let's check out some Disturbed Sound of Silence. If I remember, I want to say Disturbed was pretty heavy.
It is.
So this probably wasn't the song I'm thinking of in Trolls. This is it.
This it? Oh, hold on. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. So we've heard this song before, actually, but like it wasn't obviously Disturbed singing. If you ever seen the movie Trolls, you know what we're talking about?
Oh no, I haven't. I was like, what are Trolls?
Okay, so Trolls is a go ahead.
It's a Disney movie, and our girls absolutely love it. And it's all about, it's pretty much these trolls. They go on adventures and they sing cover songs.
Yeah, and so they sang a cover of this, but it's a kid's cover.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to hear, something a little bit more serious.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to hear the actual song and not a kid's cover to a Trolls cover.
Cover by Disturbed, because the actual song is much mellower. It's not as heavy as this song, but this song will touch your heart.
So this is their take on it.
Right.
All right.
Man, that voice though. His voice just sounds like he's been through pain.
Yeah.
Wow. So heavy.
His voice, so much like depth and bass in it.
Yes, that's good wording. Wow. I love the grit that he just pulled out.
That is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That literally, look, that gave me chills.
Okay.
That song literally gave me, like, his voice.
So I loved the last song you suggested just
Wow.
because just like how iconic I felt like it was. But I also like songs with a lot of meaning and something that feels heartfelt. And
that was definitely
he made you feel it, and his voice was just so compelling. And then when he pulled out that grit, like, it was beautiful, it was deep and earthy. And then when he pulled out that grit, it was just like, okay,
like I'm trying to think of like a lot of times when I hear an artist, I can be like, oh, like this little bit sounded like a hint of this singer, and this sound like, I can't really think of anybody who sounds like him. And what's the lead singer's name?
To be honest with you, I forgot his. I know it, but I forgot what his name is. I can find out.
I'll say he's definitely got a different type of voice, but he's got the depth. And I say it a lot because I feel like a lot of people we've been listening to lately have had a lot of depth. I feel like he has like the bass of, like, I can't think of his name, the lead singer from Alice in Chains. He can go that low, but he can also go like really high.
Yeah, towards the end when you notice and how long he would hold his notes. Yeah, it was awesome.
And see, that's another thing about the channel that I love. I'm learning like different. I'm starting to know, like, oh, that's his sound. That's kind of his sound. So, learning so much.
Yeah, and again, just if you open yourself up like you guys do, there's so much, and that's one of the things that I keep preaching to people my age. I go, quit talking about what and learn something new. Yes, the music that I grew up with, that we grew up with, is great music, and probably nothing will ever surpass it. But to say, at least not to us, but to say that there isn't good music out there still tells me you're not listening to anything else. You're stuck in the 70s and that's all you're listening to. And you're no better off than the kids who refuse to listen to that stuff because, they're about the music of today. You're just as closed-minded as they are. And I think, Amber, you hit on this earlier. Music can bring us together, but we have to be open to listen to everything and not just what we know. And, that's
exactly
what I love about your show is that you're bringing this music not just to yourselves, but to your audience who listens to you, and they, and so they're learning just as you are as you go about doing your show. So that's a great thing that you're doing.
Yeah, and it amazes me sometimes there'll be people in the comments, like long-term listeners, who will be like, "Oh, this is new to me. Like, I haven't heard this. I'm glad that you guys listened to this song." And it's cool because it's like, you, our listeners, have been teaching us so much, but it's cool when we get a moment to kind of like introduce them to something that they haven't heard before.
Right, exactly. And speaking of which, I wanted to say something to you because I think when you guys were listening to the Eagles, and Don Henley was one of the lead singers. Him and Glenn Fry were the two lead singers, but mostly Don Henley, and he was singing Hotel California, and he's playing the drums. And I think you guys were saying something about you don't see a whole lot of drummers that are lead singers. And so you had Phil Collins, Genesis, but I think probably Don Henley did it better than any of them. But I did want to tell you, because I know I saw you guys did a Carpenter song, And I was like, I bet y'all don't know
Yes.
Karen Carpenter played the drums. Yep,
Really?
she did.
So she's even more badass than I thought she was.
Yeah, she was. I mean, she didn't play drums like the way Phil Collins or Don Henley, but she was, the percussionist. She was there playing the drums, very, because their songs are very mellow, so there wasn't a whole lot to the drums, but to me,
Right.
to be able to keep a beat and sing at the same time, that I couldn't do that to save my life.
That's tough.
Multitasking at another level.
Yeah.
That's exactly. How long does it take for you guys to, like, I know you, Jay, you do the back end of the video and stuff. How long does it take for you to take one song and to make it to where you can put it out on YouTube?
I would say one song probably takes about, I mean, if you go do because I do the editing, and then, I would say one song takes probably 2.5, 3 hours.
Just the downloading process and adding stuff in.
The adding in all the edits, the downloading process, uploading.
All right. So, and does that include with you guys reacting to it as well? Or is
no, that's not us reacting to it.
How much buying?
I'm sorry?
How much time do you think it takes all together from the time that you guys do the song, react to it, do the editing and all that stuff?
I'd say,
well, see, we wake up and we'll record 3-4 videos in a setting, and then I don't think you get done after we record. I would say by the time it's time to post, because we try to post at 3:30 every day, I would say that's when at 3:30 is when you kind of start to slow down a little bit, and because he makes the thumbnails and things like that. So I would say we wake up, record, and then about 3:30 in the day, you kind of slow down, and then you just post after that.
I'll say we usually start recording at about 10, and then from the start of recording to posting to YouTube, about 5 hours.
Yeah, because we'll do, if that's like maybe 3 videos.
Yeah,
three videos for that time.
So this is almost like a full-time job on its own, on top of everything else you guys do.
Yeah,
but it's more fun than your full-time job.
It's a lot funner than my full-time job. So, like, I'm a teacher and a football coach. So, usually Monday through Friday, I'll wake up. We have 6 o'clock workouts till about 8 o'clock. Come home, record, edit, make thumbnails, upload all that, then post it. And then after that, we kind of just relax for the day. Or if we get some more time at night, we'll be like,
record.
Yeah, if we get some more time at night, we'll be like, hey, want to go knock out some more videos?
Yeah.
So we'll knock some out. So it's definitely an extra job, but hopefully if it keeps going how it is, we can stay home and do this. That's the ultimate goal.
Now,
from teachers, of course, it would be nice.
Oh, of course. I don't even know how I don't know anybody. Like, why did you become teachers? I went to college and I quickly, after my first semester, because I was going to become a teacher, I was like, nope, I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to be a teacher.
I'll say, especially here in Oklahoma, it's definitely difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, but the thing is that I know that you can tell, and it comes through the screen when people are watching you, that you love what you're doing, and I think that's a big part of it, is why you can get up in the morning and do these things and knock out, take 5 hours out of your day each day to do this, because when you love something, it isn't like work. It isn't like doing your
exactly.
No, well, and to be honest, doing these videos is kind of like a getaway for us.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we come here, we kind of just relax, kind of just get in our own little vibe, listen to the music.
Yeah.
So
and see, I've always go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I've always loved music, and so for me, like he said, it's like a getaway, but it's kind of like you get to take a minute to just really hear something gorgeous, and then it's also thought-provoking at the same time. So it's a lot more fun than I ever could expect it to be. And then interacting with our fans and subscribers and stuff like that, that's great.
All right, so
honestly, we never, I would have put my car on it if you had told me we'd have had 40,000+ subscribers in 3 months. I've never in a million years would have thought it.
Yeah, again, you're just proof. I had a gentleman on. In fact, his podcast dropped today. His name is Ant Blair, and A-N-T Blair. And he's a professional speaker. He's just a extremely positive guy. We talked about all sorts of things, and and I just realized that the things that we were talking about yesterday, you guys live. Like it's just proof that when you're positive and you see opportunities and you see positivity, you can make your life what you want it to be. And you guys are living that. And I love seeing that. We can all sit back and make excuses about why we can't do anything, the pandemic, unemployment, blah, 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 and a million other reasons why we can't do anything. But people like you go, no, let's do something positive. And you think positive. You think about the opportunities, not about the lack of opportunities. So I just love seeing that, especially in younger people, because we need more of that. Seriously.
See, that it's nice to hear that, because I mean, we literally go on this channel and we try to learn something new. But one thing we try to bring is authenticity, is just, genuinely being ourselves and genuinely giving honest reactions. And I think that that's what our subscribers, like, they love the most. And I think that's what's helped us, is just, it's nice to be able to come and do something and just be positive and be yourself and have people give you such a great reaction.
Yeah, and I would just say this: stick with that formula, because it works. And I'm going to tell you right now, we do appreciate the authenticity. We appreciate that. We know you're being honest, and that's so important with your audience, is to remain honest with them and not BS them, because the first time they find out you BS them, you'll lose them from that point on. And I've seen people on YouTube do that, and then just their subscription just dropped out because they weren't being honest with their people to begin with. You guys are, and I just continue with that, and you guys will continue to grow. I have no doubt about it. I do have two questions.
I definitely think you have to.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, because I just think that you have to remain relatable to people, and just, when you start to lose that authenticity, then it's not as relatable as people would like it to be.
That's one of the things that I'm doing with my show. Is like my whole show is to look at things from different perspectives, and the only thing I care about is the truth. I don't care what side that truth falls on. Whatever side that truth falls on, that's the side I'm on.
Love that.
And so I don't want to be one of these people who pushes a narrative because it's a narrative I like. I want to find the truth. And if it's something I don't like, well, guess what? I'm going to have to learn to like it, because the truth is
the truth.
So, and I tell people that all the time. I go, if you have a problem with something I said, your problem's with the truth. It isn't with me. It's with the truth. And that you need to look at yourself and go, why do I have a problem with this truth? Because I don't say things that aren't true. I just don't. And if I find out I ever did, I'll be the first one to go, hey, I'm sorry. I thought this was the way it was. It's not. I apologize. So, because I think as long as we're honest with ourselves, that's how we become honest with everyone else. And that's how we build relationships, not off of lies. So.
No,
you have to be open to, like, the correct me if I'm wrong moments.
Right. Exactly. That's why I say we need to look at things from all different perspectives, because a lot of people think they have the truth, but they've only looked at it from one perspective, and you can't have the whole truth when you only look at it out of one set of eyes. When you
exactly
the picture, now you can see what the real truth is. So you're absolutely right. The two questions I want to ask you is, have you ever had a song that you guys played and you go, that was okay, or you didn't?
Yeah. I have two. I can't remember.
I know one for sure that you said that about.
Yeah, one for sure. And man, I got some feedback for it. It was like this. I think it was the second video I ever posted to my channel. I can't remember the song, but it was a Beatles song. And the Beatles fans came after my head.
Yeah. You knew you shouldn't have done it.
but then I've listened to two more Beatles songs after that. I'm like, man, I really like the Beatles. It was just that song wasn't for me. And then the second one is the Don't You Forget About Me.
Okay, so I introduced him to that song because one thing that if you watch the channel, you'll see my mom loves some 80s music, 80s pop mainly. So I'll introduce Jordan to some 80s pop. And I was like super excited because I was like, this is iconic. This is in the Breakfast Club. Like, you're going to love it. I was like, you know, at the moment, at the end of the movie, you put his fist up. Like, I just couldn't wait. And then he's like,
the whole video, I was like, oh, I was bobbing my head like, come on, give me
like,
something.
This is a little weird.
But no, those are my two for me. What, do you have any?
That I thought were just okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, it wasn't Soundgarden. It was one of the harder rock songs that we listened to, and it was like Gates of Babylon. I think that was the name of the song. I don't remember the group, but that was one song. I was just like, oh yeah. I mean,
who was it? Gates of Babylon. Who was that?
I don't know. It was a harder song, and I just have a hard time relating to the harder songs, and so I was just like, you know, he's trying to find some that I like, and there are some that I've been like, okay, yeah, this is really cool, but that was one I was just like, oh. You know, maybe if I listen to it again, but not one I was particularly fond of at the beginning.
I'm trying to think. Who was it? The Gates of Babylon.
Pantera?
That's who it was.
Yeah, that's a
Pantera.
I was never into big hair bands myself, so that's why I didn't know who it was. I mean, I've heard of Pantera, obviously, but not real.
Is that your only one? Is that your only one?
That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure if I scroll down through the list, like, oh yeah. But that was a big one. Just some of the harder rock songs. Like I said, I'm such an easy listener that I have a hard time relating to some of that. So, but I was just, my feelings were hurt when he didn't like the Breakfast Club song. So I tried. If he likes something, I'm like, okay, let's give it a try.
Right. So that brings me to my second question. After you guys are off air, do you ever Amber? You ever jump on Jay like, what were you thinking? Talking like, how can you not like that song?
that was one of them for sure.
I'm trying to think. I think the ones that we just named were the only ones that, like, literally after that "Forget About Me" song, I looked at her and was like, that was not good.
Well, there'll be moments where I'm like, okay, you know, this is from this movie, so like it'll be. We talked about Back to the Future, Grease, just the Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, and in the video he'd be like, and like, who's that? And then I'll get mad, and I'm like, you have to watch these movies.
See, and that's another deal. I've thought about starting up a movie reaction channel, because in my house, if it wasn't sports related, I mean, it wasn't coming on our TV. Right. No. And you know, if football season, NFL, college was on, basketball season, we watched basketball. You know, heck, we went to hockey games, baseball.
It's just all sports.
That's just how that's how my family is. You know, we're strictly sports, and you know that's just about it. So like big movies, Harry Potter, Star Wars, like I've never seen none of that. But if you like Friday Night Lights or, you know, He Got Game, anything sports, I can tell you all about. But if it's outside of sports,
so
I don't know much.
I think it would be fun for you to do that. However, I'm not quite sure. Amber, you might agree or disagree, but I'm not sure how those movies, like even when I like some of those movies I like if you go back to like Fast Time at Ridgemont High. Or Fast Times at Ridgemont High or Animal House or any of these. I really love those movies. But when you go back and watch them now, they don't relate the way they used to when we were younger. So I'm not sure, even though that might be his first time seeing it, I'm not sure if it will be as relatable as it
like I might be punching him at the end.
Exactly.
Why didn't you laugh at that?
Because I agree sometimes, like I watched that in my house. The tradition was with my mom, we would go and she would just introduce me to all the stuff that she liked. So like I said, Ferris Bueller, the Carrie movies, stuff like that. Like it was like, it's a really nostalgic, fun memory for me is those movies. So I think I would probably still go back and just like, you know, be super nostalgic and maybe think they're a little cheesy, but like them. And Jordan will probably just sit there like, okay, when's something fun gonna happen?
You might try this. The first one may be good to do Ferris Bueller because at least they go to a Cubs game. So
that's true. You can relate to it a little bit.
I could.
Well, guys, listen, I really appreciate you taking your time. I would love to do something if you're up for it. And I talked to you beforehand. I would love to do something like once a month where we do the Powers Project picks, and I give you 3 songs. We'll just call them Powers Project picks that you do, and see what your audience thinks. I would love to be able to do it on here if we can figure out the way to do the sound where they can see and
Share it.
what you guys see in here. So we can
Mhm.
figure that out. I would love to post it on my podcast so my listeners can and viewers can get see who you are and see what you do and head over to your channel and subscribe to you as well, because I want people to subscribe to your channel because I think what you're doing is just great.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it, Kurt. We've had an absolute blast. You know, again, that you should feel special. You're our very first podcast interview.
I do. And
This is the moment.
Hey, this is a first of hopefully many to come.
yes, and listen, and when you become famous, don't forget me. Don't say Kurt who.
Hey, it's where it all started, right here.
Yeah, we'll have to always drop in, and same for you. But it's been fun.
I would love it. So I really appreciate it. Well, guys, listen, I know you got a couple girls probably waiting on you and
fighting. They're fighting
yeah.
right now. I hear my youngest just screaming her head off.
I'll let you get to that. But thanks again for everything. It was a blast having you. And folks, thanks for joining us. And until next time, as I always tell you, take care, be safe, and you don't have to wear your mask anymore. But just all right. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.